Everybody, and welcome to yet another Ignite Equity Capital Raising presentation. Well, friends, you all know at Ignite, we are extremely picky about the companies that we back. But companies start out with people, and we like to follow winners. And in the small cap natural resources sector on the ASX in the last number of years, I can't think of a bigger winner than Asimwe Kabunga. Asimwe has had so much success, and part of that success is surrounding him by the right people, and we are going to talk about today as well. And we are raising capital today for one of Asimwe's great portfolio companies with huge potential upside in those battery metals, with huge potential projects in both Tanzania and Finland. And by the way, for those of you investors that are not familiar with Finland, you're going to know a lot more about this after this call, and it is the biggest nickel producer in Europe right now. And with that, Asimwe, welcome.
Thank you, Greg, for taking time with us and for agreeing to do a capital raise for us. First, my name is, as you say, Asimwe Kabunga. I'm chairman of RMI, Resource Mining Corporation. And I'm here with my colleague, Mark Gifford, who is our senior geologist and technical leader for our project Finland and in Tanzania.
Gotcha. Hey, Mark, Asimwe, I'm going to ask you questions, both of you. Either one of you want to take it, but I want to start up north in Finland. We're looking for, I believe it's nickel, lithium. What is so attractive first of all, from a high level about Finland? And also, I don't think that investors here may understand quite the opportunity set and how advanced the government is there already.
So Finland is very exciting area for us. Myself and Mark, we went last year to visit those sites. So I'll let Mark maybe talk a little bit about why we are excited in Finland, especially geology side of things. But what maybe some people don't understand, Finland is very pro mining, is a very mining country. As you say, they are largest producer of nickel in Europe. Maybe Mark, can you talk a little bit about the technical side of Finland?
Oh, sure. Finland's actually very similar to Sweden in the fact that it's been a long-term mining company. Outokumpu, one of the major mining houses of the world, historically has come from Finland, and their mines are still operating. The fact that Finland has got a large series of opportunities is because of the government has offered to the marketplace a series of reserves which we've taken advantage of. And the current trend and study is that lithium and nickel are major projects that the government is in support of. Lithium, especially with the government investing money in processing plants and supporting projects which are now coming to fruition in places like Calabar. So we're very excited because much of the work has not been done. The actual mining that's been completed today has been on targets which have been identified for a number of years. Little exploration has been done in the sense of like we're West Australians, Asimwe's African, and he's worked out of West Australia as well. We're very much into finding the things which are hidden.
Right.
A lot of the times, sort of like these areas haven't been targeted because they're not that easy, but we find that the biggest opportunities lie in areas which are yet to be found. And we think that we are actually on that sort of like track right now.
Great. Hey, Mark, I just want to stay with you on that point for a second. The Kola Lithium project, you have had some recent news out of there, some recent increased mineralization. What is that telling you?
Oh, look, Kola's fantastic. Kola sits directly south of the major new mine, Calabar. But the grades that we've encountered in boulders are top the actual pegmatites themselves. Some have been in excess of 5% lithium oxide, which is very, very high grade. The average deposit grades are about 1%. We're seeing numerous samples that basically are over 2%. And we're looking forward to the process of getting granted exploration licenses, and they're in play right now. We've applied for them. Also to be able to start that drilling process and shoring up resources.
And Mark, just adding to that, as far as, can you just give us a time, and for either one of you, I suppose, a time frame? What are the activities? So we're going to go for the exploration license. What'll be the next 6 to 12 months over there?
Oh, look, if I can step in this in me, the actual 6 to 12-month program is that we will go through a process of identifying the most likely spots to start drilling based on a study of where the boulders have moved from and how they've been sort of processed and rolled. We will then drill as soon as we can. We actually have an opportunity to drill before the exploration license is granted if we have permission from the landholders. We'll investigate that, but the whole sort of direction would be that we would be starting a resource drilling program as quickly as possible, and that would be within the next 6 to 12 months.
Great. And maybe, and again, this question is for either one of you. Finland, can you just tell people a little bit more about, this is not someplace with no exploration activity at all. As we've discussed already, it is the largest nickel supplier in Europe. Just tell us a little bit more about the area.
Yeah, Mark, maybe you can go more about what
sure.
they've been working on, the data we are getting from Geological Survey of Finland.
Yeah, well, Finland itself has been been commencing a large series of sort of reservation allocations throughout the country in regards to improving and increasing the exploration, especially for nickel and lithium. The government themselves are very supportive of increasing this battery metal market. So we are one of many explorers right now who are developing resources. We believe that we actually have ground that is extremely rich with potential, more so than many of the other licenses that were selected specifically for their potential. Rusakero to the north already has a nickel resource on it, quite large, but a little bit low grade. We believe that there's opportunity to find significant more nickel opportunities in untested ultramafics to the north and to the east, as well as opportunities for copper and other base metals, which we're starting to see from grab samples in the area. In regards to the lithium component, look, we don't just have Kola, we also have another one called Hervicardio Reserve, which is near the battery formation sort of plants. And we're surrounded by projects, explorers that are testing similar sort of pegmatites at the same time. So we're very excited. The fact is that the government's in support. The actual region is very easy to access. It's quite flat. There's not sort of like having to park your drill rig on the side of a cliff. It's often the case in Africa and around the world. And yeah, it's quite nice for me not having to sort of put on crampons at times. And just the concept of being able to work in a sort of environment which is very sort of direct. You actually present your arguments and move ahead with your project development. You don't have to delay your process because of red tape or other sort of environmental concerns, which we accept as part of any license, but we don't sort of wish to be held up by things which become new to the system. That's all.
Yeah, and adding to that, everybody, I believe that Finland was ranked by Fraser's as the 9th most hospitable place to do mining work in the world. So again, I just want to reiterate, as Mark and Asinwe are, that this is a serious place to explore. But now I want to turn it a little further south to Tanzania, the Tanzanian projects. Either one of you, can you kick it off, please?
Yeah, so I'm very excited to Tanzania. As you know, Tanzania is my backyard. It's my home. I was born and raised there. And we were lucky to get hold of those project, which is historically, I got first to know about this project maybe 7-8 years ago when I was involved with a company I co-founded called Strandline, now listed in ASX. We had mineral sand project, but we acquired one company called Jacana, but Jacana had some nickel sulfide project on their portfolio. And some of those projects was the ex-BHP project. That's when I start to understand how these projects are. And then for those years, I've been working in the background to get hold of those projects. And last year, 2001, I got all of them in one private company called Massive Nickel, and that's when we started. So I'll let Mark maybe talk a little bit about the background and the technical side. Mark has been on the work on all those projects, and is familiar with them very well technically.
Please, Mark, tell us more.
Oh, Tanzania, Asimwe's home, and fantastic country to actually visit. The projects are in an area called the East African Nickel Belt. It's a very considered a very prospective belt based on success in an area called Kabanga, at the northern end of it, a massive high-grade nickel sulfide resource within a mafic, which is sort of a primary start point for many sort of opportunities of the mafics through that whole area. The tenements that we have are located to the south, an area called Liparamba, Mavinga, and Kitai, and we are just currently drilling the Liparamba project along its southern corridor. We've these tenements at Liparamba, and Mavinga have EM studies, electromagnetic geophysical surveys completed across them. And within those surveys, they'd already defined plates of sort of potential sulfides along their contact zones. We've done further work, and we're continuing to do further work in sort of like different regions. And we've actually confirmed through other geophysical surveys that there is that anomaly, that there is a consistency to it. And when we've gone to the ground, we've seen outcropping rocks with sulfides present. And we have drilled recently one hole of RC, which we stopped, unfortunately, because of ground conditions. It's quite wet.
Okay.
Because of its location. Not because of the rocks itself, but simply because of the actual sort of geotechnical characteristics of the ground. And with that, we had about 60 meters of mafic rock with traces amounts of sulfides through every meter. So we're very excited. This is something which is untested from the perspective of drilling, but we've actually about to commence work currently on that test work. And it's sort of like, the start of something which could be large. It's a very exciting region to be working in. BHP, when they did their work, really put this as a very high priority sort of project area. Unfortunately, there was a change of corporate strategy within BHP, and they moved away from the exploration component of their works and concentrated more on the actual production side, leaving the exploration to juniors for them to come back and purchase at a later date. So with Asimwe securing this, it's been an opportunity for sure.
Right. Hey, Mark, and you said you're currently drilling right now. So should we get more drill holes in the ground and more results call over the next 90 days?
Yes, over the next quarter, basically, we will be achieving not just sort of drill core, but we'll be approaching point of receiving assays back as well. The actual geology is the most important component of this right now. We're trying, being the initial primary holes, we always hope for success, but it does provide us with that window. We now are looking into something which has sort of never been looked at before, but all the indicators, all the smoke that we're seeing is sort of like leading us back to what we believe is quite a significant fire.
Right. Hey, Asimwe, I'll turn over to you for a second. We're raising capital right now. The use of funds, you're a doer. And by the way, you are contributing heavily yourself into this capital raising. What are the uses of funds here?
So the users fund, as we say, we just started. We're starting this week actually drilling our diamond. So most of the fund will go on the drilling work in Tanzania, and some of the fund will go to progress some work we're doing in Finland to get our permit, our permit for drilling. And that as soon as we get that permit, we'll start some work in Finland. So most will go in exploration in Tanzania and Finland.
Great. Hey, and I want to turn it a little bit right now for a second, both of you, towards management and success. Asimwe, as I mentioned earlier on, you've had a lot of success, and is part of it building a team that with a person such as Mark?
Man, thank you for the compliment. For me, first, I believe in first good project. Good project is crucial. You can't put lipstick on the pig and expect to be something different. So with that one, dream teams are very important to have people with eye to identify those good projects and work on the good projects. That's very, very important. And the last thing, which most important, is persistence. These things don't come easily, and the winner don't give up. So you have to be into it and make sure these things works. But if you start with a good project, that's very important.
Right. And I can sense that you're also a very competitive person as well. We've known you for some while now, and that certainly helps as well with the persistency.
Thank you.
Great. Guys, I know it's a very busy time for you. I know, Asimwe, you're about to hop onto a plane very soon there. In closing, any closing comments for people?
We are very excited with RMY. I think RMY is going to be a winner. Obviously, we'll try everything we can to do what we can do to realize the value to our shareholders. Obviously, our shareholders are trusting us with their hard-earned cash. So we'll make sure that we do what we can to realize the value of their investment and our investment, because we are invested along them too.
Absolutely. Mark, Asimwe, on behalf of the Ignite Equity team, we are thrilled to back you. Seriously, and we are so excited to see what comes place for the next even weeks and months and years ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
so
very
much,
much.
Bye-bye.